Pierre, it's kind of a no-brainer in any game, in any series, that first goal is incredibly important. But put an exclamation point on that for this series. The team that has scored first has won every single game. And if we take this back to the previous two playoff series, the team that has scored first has won 15 of the 17 games. So look for it to be a scramble for that first goal tonight.
And that's not shocking because there's no greater contrast in playing styles in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs than the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. Because when Edmonton scores first and starts tilting the ice, it forces the Kings to come out of their defensive shell and frankly get into an uncomfortable place with their game. That's what the Oilers want. But of course, vice versa, when the Kings score first, they could stay in the 1-3-1 and try to frustrate the Oilers. It's what we've seen for 3 years, and it's why it matters so much.
Interesting talking to both groups. They're actually both pretty happy with their starts so far in this series. The LA Kings have experience in that locker room. They have players that have been in this position before. You chatted with one of them today that draws on a previous experience as reason to, well, remain optimistic.
Well, listen, as a player, when you're down 3-1 in the series, you have to truly believe what you're looking for inspiration. And so Philip Deneau lived it with the Montreal Canadiens down 3-1 in the bubble to the Toronto Maple Leafs in 21. An offensive juggernaut Toronto Maple Leafs team, and he said, we came back on them, and it started with winning a period and winning a game, and then suddenly the pressure shifted from Montreal to Toronto in that series, and that's what he hopes to accomplish here with the LA Kings. Change the pressure in this series if they can steal one tonight.
So a huge key to that is unlocking this special teams puzzle. It hasn't even been close, Pierre. It's been a landslide. The Oilers' power play operating at over 50%. Their penalty kill has been absolutely perfect. I know this Oiler power play is good, but LA has to be able to do better than this.
You would think. I mean, the LA Kings have the number 2 rated penalty killing unit in the NHL this year. They've got a former Selke Trophy winner in Anze Kopitar, one of the best defensive forwards. We just talked about him in Philip Deneau, Drew Doughty. They have to be able to be better than this, but it's interesting. I wrote about this in The Athletic today. I spoke to Patrice Bergeron and Guy Carbonneau, Dave Tippett, Ken Hitchcock. They all said the same thing. I mean, Patrice Bergeron is glad he's retired and doesn't have to try and defend this Oilers power play because it is so unique compared to the rest of the league. The constant movement, the Connor McDavid one-man zone entry, Draisaitl winning 83% of his faceoffs in this series on the power play. It is so hard to defend, and all these guys I talked to who have made a living in killing penalties during their careers or coaching said, I don't know if I have a good answer for that power play.
I go back to what Connor McDavid said after Game 1 when their power play was so good. He said, well, we still got a few things up our sleeve. And they've certainly shown that. They've shown some wrinkles. They've been creative, and it's been a difference maker. Big guns for the Los Angeles Kings. All eyes are on them. Haven't produced enough yet, Pierre. The pressure's on, and rightfully so, and the head coach talked about that today.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we keyed on this right from day one, and it just hasn't played out yet for the LA Kings. Pierre-Luc Dubois' line is getting better matchups than Kopitar and Deneau's line, right? Kopitar and Deneau are doing the heavy lifting against Draisaitl and McDavid. Dubois' line has got to come through in these matchups against the bottom 6 from the Oilers, and it just hasn't happened enough in this series, and if it doesn't, they have no chance. That's where this series shifts, is if that line comes through.
So with 2 days between games, both sides got a chance to watch a little hockey last night. You see two teams in similar positions staying alive. So for the LA Kings, that's hope. For the Oilers, it's a cautionary tale. It'll be interesting to see if the Oilers can be the mature group that they feel that they are, Pierre, and close this out tonight.